Hi there, it's Carol. Today we'll be making this adorable little old olive and basic black plaid Christmas card. Now I think the black really makes it look elegant. So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy making this card with me. If you haven't purchased the card kit, or if you haven't earned it free with a $60 retail purchase, using the current host code on my blog, check out my blog www.carolbcrafts.com and get the current host code. Go to stampinup.com and make a $60 retail purchase, and I will send you as my gift to you, my customer reward, all the materials that you need to make these 6 cards that you see in front of you. So let's get started making our card. This is the kit that you'll need for today's card, and it does come with an envelope, which is always nice to have an envelope handy so you can pop it in the mail. My little dear doesn't seem to want to come out of the bag. Now if you're watching this and you haven't taken the class, I will give you some instruction and dimensions so that you can follow along as well. So we'll start off with, we have a piece of half a sheet of thick whisper white. We have the valley facing us. We're going to fold it away and use our bone folder to crease that fold. This seems to be the first thing that we do in most all of our videos. It's also the easiest. I'm going to tuck the envelope away because we won't need that for right now. Now you should have 2 pieces of ribbon, and this is the black Shimmer ribbon that's new in the catalog, and I'll put the number on the screen. We have a piece that's 12 inches and a piece that is 6 inches. So that's our ribbon. Now the trees that we'll be using, we have some old olive pines and some basic black pines, and these are cut from the dies that are in the Card Front Builder Thinlits dies. So that's where I got the pines. And I also got the little deer from that same die set. And that die set goes with the stamp set Carols of Christmas. It's a bundle. You can get that as a bundle, and I'll put that bundle number on the screen for you as well. Now the adhesives that you need will be your snail and your multi-purpose glue. And we'll start off, now you can see that I have cut windows into this, the DSP and then the 2 pieces of cardstock that come with the kit. And I use the layering squares, framelits, for that. And I'll give you the dimensions and show you how that's done at the end of the video, so that those who are taking the class don't have to go through the whole process unless they want to. But I'll do that as a favor to those who are just watching. So we'll start off with our plaid, old olive plaid. Now that's going to be our top layer, and underneath that, if you look, is going to be black, the basic black, and then underneath that is going to be the old olive. And you can kind of see there's like a little slight bit of a frame. That's the side you want facing forward because it has the cleaner cut. The Big Shot cuts the cleaner cut on the front. So that will help you to know which is the front. And then behind this we're going to put this paper, and I think it's Merry Music. I'll put the name of the paper also on the screen for you. And then behind all of that we're going to put a piece of basic black, which is 4 by 5 1/4. So that's how it's all going to go, and then we'll put our trees on top and our little deer there. And we'll also have to fit that ribbon in as well. Now I found that working with these windows, it's best to start out with the bottom layer and build forward. And so we're going to use our multi-purpose mono liquid glue. Now you want to make little dots 1/4 of an inch from the inside square. You don't want them to be very big because you don't want them to run when you put the layer on top. And since we'll be putting the black layer on top, we're going to go ahead and put some glue down here as well. Looks like it has the measles. Now the reason I like the glue better for this, and this is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and this one is 3.5 by 4 3/4. So the reason that I like this better, the glue, is because you have time to move it around before it dries. So we want 1/8 of an inch frame of the old olive frame showing, and then once we do get where we want it, we're just gonna do that. Okay, it should be pretty much set. Next we're going to put our DSP, and I think this is Merry Little Christmas. I'm not sure. I'll put the name of that on the screen as well. And this one we're going to do the same thing with our glue. We're just going to put 1/4 of an inch from the inside circle, not too much. My dots are getting a little more like lines on the highway. That's okay, as long as they're not too thick and they don't run when I put my top on, my top layer. Okay, so again we want that 1/8 of an inch, and oops, how did I get some glue there? I have no idea. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and move this around till we get our 1/8 inch of black showing. Thank goodness the glue is a little forgiving. Now we're going to put the paper behind this. And this we're going to do a little bit reverse. We're going to actually put the glue around on the back 1/4 of an inch, but we're only going to go around the square. We're not going to go down here. And we're going to frame our music. Make sure your lines are level horizontally, so they're not going at an angle, because you want it to look like sheet music. I didn't put a sentiment on the front of this card because I thought with the words to the song, this is Jingle Bells by the way, I thought the words to the song could be my sentiment for the front. Okay, so we're going to put that on the 4 by 5 1/4 inch basic black, and we'll use snail for that. Oh, well, we're not going to do that yet. We have to do our ribbon. So the 6-inch ribbon we're going to put across the front, and we're going to take a pencil and mark from the bottom on the back 1 inch from the bottom. So each one of these little squares is 1/4 of an inch, so I know that's an inch, and I know that's an inch. So that lets me know where I'm going to want my ribbon. So the bottom of my ribbon is going to be level with that line. And then I'm going to put some snail back here so that my ribbon has something to hang on to when it comes around the edge. You can decide which you think is the best. Usually the curve, that is the inside, and if it curves out, that's the outside. So we'll go ahead and we want about 3/4 of an inch, I think, is what you have to work with on the insides, the back. Okay, so we have that in our, and it looks pretty even and there's no sagging. Now we can put it on our basic black. And we'll use our snail for that. Alright, let me get my little waxy strip. Now this waxy strip is the waxy paper that's left from our mini glue dots. I have lots of people ask me about that. So that's where it comes from if you want to use this. So I'm just going to take the waxy strip and press it in, and then that way it acts as a barrier to between the sticky and what I'm putting it on, so that if I need to reposition it, I can. Now I just want a 1/16 of an inch, a very light 1/16 of an inch around the edges, and that looks good. So I'm not pushing it down all the way, I'm only pushing it on the corners and holding it until I can pull this out. And that's why it comes out. I don't push it down until after I pull it out. Alright, so our card front is ready to go on our card base. But if we're going to do some stamping on the inside, this would be the time to do it. Now I'm going to use a sentiment from the Holly Berry Happiness stamp set, and this stamp set goes with the hollies punch that I've been using to make the holly leaves in this class. So if you have a different sentiment that you want to use, I'm going to use "May the happiness of family, the joys of friendship, and the warmth of love surround you this season." So I think that's a really nice message, and I'm going to do that in basic black. And I had to put that on a D block in the diamond shape because it wouldn't fit the other way. So let me go ahead and get my basic black ink out. Now I'll need my Pierce mat because it's photopolymer, and I think photopolymer works better with a Pierce mat or something like that. So I'm going to ink this up really good because I want it to make a good impression first time. Alright, so I'm going to level this out and hopefully get it straight. Alright, it looks pretty good. Okay, so I cleaned off my stamp. Now we can put our mat away and finish putting our front layer on our card, and we'll use our snail for that. This is sticking up, so it's going to fight me when I go to use my waxy strip, so I'm going to make sure that has a nice crease in it so it doesn't interfere when I'm trying to put it on. Now this is going to have 1/8 of an inch around it, a little bit more of an edge. That looks good. Okay, now we can put our trees on, and the trees are going to go kind of the black is going to go behind the old olive, and it's going to be kind of like a shadow, but we want the curves here to remain together. And we're going to use some glue, and we know that this side of the black is going to be covered up by the old olive, so that's where we're going to put our glue, on the side that the old olive is going to cover up, and we're just going to put little dots. We can put more down here. Don't need a lot to keep these together, and make sure our curves are matching. Alright, and of course the glue does give you some time to get that in the right way that you want. If you want a little more of the black showing, you can have a little more. Looks like in this card there is a little bit more of the black showing, so maybe I can slide this over a little bit. Yeah, it looks like it's just too late. That is stuck. Alright, well this one isn't going to have as much. And that might be okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and I think I put this on with glue as well. So we'll put glue on the back of these tiny little dots because we don't want it to run. And we want it down near the bottom and in the center. That's good right there. Now we want our little deer, and that is a darling little deer, I think. It just makes the card. So we're going to put him on with some glue as well. Now you could use glue dots if you feel more safer using glue dots. That's fine. And then we're going to have it so he's sitting kind of towards near the bottom, but not right on the bottom. Kind of right there. That's good. That's perfect. Alright, the only thing we have left to do is the bow. Now bows are very scary sometimes, and I'll show you how I've learned to make a bow. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take our 12-inch piece of the black shimmer, and we want the bow on this side. Now I'm turning it upside down. I found that it's easier to do it upside down. So I'm going to pull some in here, and then I'm going to loop this. So I'll show you here on this side. So I basically just looped it like that. I'm holding it down here at the bottom. Okay, now I want a little more tail than that in my loop. So I'm going to bring, so I have a little bit more tail. Now I have my loop. Now I'm going to hold that about in the middle, and I'm going to bring this up and do another loop just like that, tail going this way, tail going that way. And now I'm going to put this one over like that, and then push that through the loop. And then I'm just going to pull these tails until they are where I want them. Now hopefully that didn't confuse you, but I'll show you again on a bigger piece of ribbon. And this you can slide over. That's the beauty of this one. You can slide it whatever direction you want. So once I get it looking at me, now I can turn it around and put it more in the area that I want. Now you know that you play with the bow for quite a while till you get it just perfect. Okay, I think I've played with it long enough. I'm going to slide it over here to the right a little bit. Some bows just don't want to do right, and I think this is one of those bows. But hopefully you have better luck than I did. I'm going to trim my edges off here. And my scissors are sharp. I don't know why it's not doing the way it's supposed to. Okay, that looks about right. Okay, well we are done with our first card in our online class, And hopefully, oh, I was going to show you how to do that bow again. Okay, so here's our ribbon. So we've got a loop here and a loop here. Okay, these are big loops because I want you to see. So basically what I did is I slipped it under the ribbon that's across on the card, and then I took this loop, put it like an X over that loop, tucked this in through the loop that I just made, and I pulled it tight. And that's how I made my bow. So hopefully that kind of shows you how that bow is done. It's basically two loops, one over the other, and stick it through and pull. Well, thanks for watching, and be watching for the second video in the Carols of Christmas online class. Check out my blog, www.carolbcrafts.com, and I will send you a kit free with a $60 retail purchase. Alright, those who are going to stick around for to see how to do the windows, I'll be doing those next. Okay, so I have my magnetic platform on the bottom, but you don't have to have the magnetic platform, but it's easier to do this if you have it. If not, you'll need probably some washi tape. So we have our platform on the bottom, and then a clear acrylic plate. Now this will be the same for all of the for most of the cards that we'll be using with the windows, so you don't need to worry about having to watch this again. This is going to be pretty much the same for all of them. Okay, so the DSP, we're going to cut it first, and it is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to put that down there, and then we have the 3 largest squares from the Layering Squares Framelits. We're going to take the largest one. You can always remember the largest goes in front, and we're going to put it so that there's even spacing on this edge, and this edge. So top and sides, even spacing. And the this particular pattern helps you to kind of know if your paper is straight. Now, if you don't have the magnetic platform, you can use tape. You can use regular tape, or you can use washi tape. But you want to make sure that when you tape it, move this over just a little bit. It looks a little better. This down a little bit. Okay. So with the tape only on the metal and on the inside, you don't want any tape over the edge because it will ruin your paper. So we're going to go ahead and run that through the Big Shot, if it will let me. Okay, so this is what we have now. So this is, we can just pull this and tear this away. Now we have a frame. Okay, let me put something white beneath this so you can see. So now we have the frame, the top frame. So we're done with the largest frame. Now we're going to get the second largest frame, and we're going to get black, because black is the one that goes behind the front. So we have a piece of basic black cardstock that's going to go behind here, and we want an 1/8, well, we just want it this even amounts of DSP showing all around, and this black is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, and then we're just going to turn this over, put it down, try to keep it as where you want it. You do have some wiggle room though, so it doesn't have to be exact. So next we're going to take the second largest, and frame from the layering framelits and put it inside that block. Now, because it's magnetic platform, I don't need to use any tape, but just because you might not have it, I'm going to go ahead and use the tape. I'm going to tape this down, and then you can either hold it in place or tape it in place. Now I'm done with this. Now this is a little crooked, so I'm going to straighten it out because I know that I want it to be a little more straight than that, and maybe even a little straighter. Alright, now I'm going to put it through again. This is our second window. Pretty much the same thing. Okay, so now we know that behind this is going to be the old olive panel. And it's the same size, 3.5 by 4 3/4. And this time they're going to be even. So we'll just put them even together. Now we're going to just take this black off because we don't need that. We're done with the middle, the second largest. Now we're going to do the third largest, or the smallest of the three. Now we're going to keep these, just hold those in place and put your the smallest one inside there. And again, if you want to use the tape, it's the same process. But since I don't need to use the tape, I'm not going to. I'm just going to lift that up, maybe with my finger. And then I'm going to put the plate on top and run it through. Okay, so now I have my 3 layers. I have the bottom layer, then the next layer, and I know you can't see that on the black. So I have the bottom layer, the next layer, and then the top layer. And it's really pretty easy. I know it seems maybe a little hard, but it really isn't. It really gives a nice look to your card. So I think it's worth the extra effort. So I hope you'll give that a try. But in the meantime, you can enjoy the fact that I've done all the work for you if you've taken my class. Alright, well, thanks again for watching. And I do hope you'll take my class because I do want to try to make it as easy and fun for you. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.